It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This one fielded at the 5. A beautiful fake. Here come the Bengals now to take over. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback. And he powers his way up past the 30. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
They run a draw here on second down. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Back to throw here. Throwing the slant pattern here complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down. So opening drive, 3rd down, they go with a slant. It works.
And I'm wondering when the league's going to figure it out because everyone throws it on 3rd down. You expect pressure, so you want the ball in the hands of the quarterback quickly. It's a 3-step route ordinarily, and you're throwing it where you see the receiver breaking towards you. So it's an inside route. Everyone likes it, and it's executed very well.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun and give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And early on, they're picking up right where they left off last week.
And I know a lot of coaches say each game is its own. You don't really have carryover. This feels like carryover. So much confidence from the previous game that they're using to their advantage now.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another 1st.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this 1st drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? They run the counter now on 1st down. And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on 1st down.
Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball in the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
All right, here we go. Blue Lightning. Blue Lightning.
He's got it. Touchdown. successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
It becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. So that drive goes a full 80 yards in 10 plays. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. Bullock out now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Quick hitch, complete. It's Fleming. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
He just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. They'll set up to throw. And some space here. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down.
Let's go! Green 39!
Jackson's got it over the middle. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
Fresh set of downs here.
Here we go now! Green 39! Green 39!
He'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
Green 39!
They find some open field here. It's a gain of 7, and that'll make it second down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And he fires one, but incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And all the gamble fails. It's incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work.
Well, the element of surprise was there. All right, there's no doubt about it. For us, maybe. But not for the guys on defense. An incomplete pass on the fake field goal attempt.
I guess, though, if you're trying to pick up the first of that spot, why not let your QB throw the ball, right?
You thinking that might be a better way to
Instead of your kicker, yeah. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early byes and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 7-0 is our score. We'll return to Cincinnati after this. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with a football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down.
It's not always as straight as that team wanted it more than the other, but on that play, it actually was true. They were faster to the ball.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on third down.
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Hot.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
So on fourth down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
And we'll get our first update of the afternoon from the Meadowlands. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he'll take it down to the 30-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
Here we go.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Curtis. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Let's go. The Blue 90. Blue 90.
A handoff as they run the counter play. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
And thus far in this NFL season, no touchdown scored for him, and he's not going to get it on that play either.
Here we go. Green, 39.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down. The offense on third down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and goal.
Set. Green, 19.
And he's in. It's a Houston Texans touchdown. Extra point forthcoming. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards that time, and it's Cincinnati first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. They'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Little. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner.
Green 39.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. They'll look to throw here. Throw left side complete. That's Little. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a first down. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A gain of 6 there on first.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
Looking to throw. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up first and goal.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Back to throw again. The quick slant caught. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. To throw again. And he's got it. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends.
False start. Offense.
Not what you wanted there, 3rd and 2.
And this is something you've worked on in practice from the time you were in training camp. Yet you still create your own mistakes.
Back to throw. Now bottled up fumble. It's out. It's loose. And the Texans scoop it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A bad 3rd down mistake there.
Points were already on the board in their mind. And that's the worst part about it, right? Because it's just like in golf. Never count it in the cup until it rolls in there. Otherwise, you can really get messed up with your scores. In this case, you know they thought, hey, at least 3, maybe even a chance to get 6. It's a little bit demoralizing going off the field now that you've turned it over and you come up empty.
Yeah, if he holds on to that, at least the field goal on 4th down, now they lose it. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And avoids the contact by sliding. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get up here to the 26. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we'll send you down to Orlando where Larry Ridley has our EA Sports halftime report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get you caught up on all the highlights from the first half. As we look at the numbers, the only thing that really matters is that we've got a tie game. We'll have another half here to figure out who can come out on top. All right, let's get straight to it. Here's some highlights from the first half. Bengals have it midway through one. Sheffield's going to push his way to the QB here. This will go as a loss of 5. Same drive. The catch will be made in double coverage, and he'd cap off the 10-play drive with a TD as they take a 7-0 lead. 3rd and goal. Kluge's going to cruise off the right side, and he capped off the long drive with a touchdown. We're tied back up at 7. Bengals have it late in the second. The ball's going to come out on the run. That'll do it for us here at EA Sports Studios. Let's get back out to Brandon and Charles for the call of the second half. Brandon.
Short kick here, fielded about the 17. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Over the middle, complete. That's Jackson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the first. Offense readies for a 2nd and 1. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Second and very short here, less than a yard. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it's a second down. So we've got a 2nd and 5. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And it's caught. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defense side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
So stuffed from the 2, now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action?
Definitely. Let him get outside and create. And if he has to run it, he has a little bit more space.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Third and goal. Can the offense punch it in here from the 1? And he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
That was a statement stop right there. Now it forces the opposing head coach to answer this question. What do you do on 4th down?
Now the Texans are going to call on the field goal unit from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they get the field goal, but partner, that was a 14-play drive to get the 3.
Normally when you hold the ball that long, run that many plays, you end up in the end zone. There's a breakdown on the defense. Something happens. In this case, that didn't. But really good ball control by the offense. They're hoping that they can wear them down if they keep having drives like that.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start. Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, and defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. A third quarter score now from MetLife Stadium. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Punting now is Huber as he sends it away. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And now out comes Houston. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in the contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe
that. Super toe.
Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. He'll look to throw. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And a give this time to the tailback. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. It's a 7-yard gain that gets him back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10.
After another impressive run, the question has to be asked, how do you slow these guys down running the football? I think they're going to try and get more people to the point of attack, try and get more people to the line of scrimmage, almost use a variety of run blitzes in order to try and get it done.
And he can't escape, and down he goes.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, The teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10.
Green 39! Green 39!
And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now back to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Now let's go. 3.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Again, he'll drop to throw. They set up the screen to Hill. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll drop to throw. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now the first carry for Brian Hill. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
It's really come into vogue to talk about the different gaps that a defense tries to attack in an offensive line. And most of the time we're talking about blitzes. How many times have you heard double A-gap blitz? Well, where is the A-gap? It's the space between the center and the guards, either side. So when you're having a double A-gap blitz, that's two guys coming through that gap. In this situation, though, that A-gap wasn't open for the defense to exploit. The offensive line took care of it, protected it, and moved the defensive guys out of the way to allow for that nice run.
Looked like some hands both ways. They got it on the offense.
And sometimes there's a fine line between being the receiver and the DB, and he knocked that one away. Might have caused an incompletion that could have been an interception.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the scrambler or the dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
He'll look to throw. Right side caught by Jackson. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. They get 7 there, but it brings up fourth.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And we'll see what he can do on the return. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And the Bengals will take over here first and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. On play action, they'll throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Little. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. A good pickup there at 22.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
Fresh set of downs here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Now, what's the thinking here? Because a touchdown would be nice, but you've ensured yourself a chance at 3 in the lead, so how worried are you about the 6?
You're not very worried about if you're confident in your kicker. And if you got a kicker who can put it through the post, you feel really good about trying to bleed that clock down. In an ideal scenario, your kicker puts it through the post as the clock hits zeros.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a third down, but they are in field goal range already. Now a handoff. Here's Hill. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
First down and goal. The offense knocking on the door. Now they'll run on the draw. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And this offense on third down today, they've hit 4 of 7. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here.
Here we go now. Detroit!
They'll try to run it. It's Hill. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And Bullock will put this one through. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. And now then, it's a big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so, but this was not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
This is taken at his 4th. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
Yeah, they practice this all the time,
they practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. Now, this is taken in. It's complete. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. He's back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Well, when this drive began, the offense only needed a field goal, but the defense ramped up the pressure, and after back-to-back sacks, they're feeling confident they might keep them off the board.
So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to tie things up in the final minute. And we've got free football. 4 quarters done, and we're dead even. We'll have overtime after this timeout. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
This one taken from the 7. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's able to get it up close to the 35, but hang on here. Penalty marker down. And this one might be going the other way.
Return team.
So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Broken tackle. And he's got room. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. And he'll give it here to his running back. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Now a first throw here in overtime. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. The defense does its job. Now they're going to get the ball here in overtime with a chance to win it.
Major league kudos to them, because to get the ball back in this spot, everything was on them. It had to happen, and they pulled it off. They'll get it back for their offense with a chance to win.
Here's Kevin Huber now, on for a very important punt here in overtime. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And here comes the Texans now. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. Excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Now part 1 is done. Now part 2. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front, because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
They'll look to throw. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. Call it a 3-yard gain, and just like that, it's third down. The Texans on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. He'll drop to throw. And some room to roam now. And the ball is knocked out, and the Bengals grab it. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. And a costly mistake. Coaches talk so much about ball security, and in overtime, so paramount.
Pardon, do you ever wonder if maybe they talk about it too much?
Too much, yeah.
Doesn't seem like you can, but maybe by discussing it time and time again, and you know they overemphasized it here, it almost became self-fulfilling.
And any points beat them here, field goal or a touchdown now. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And to give this time to the tailback. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Seven yards to go on second down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's got about 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 25. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys, poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And he got it. The kick is good. In overtime, he's able to split the uprights. We thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance that field goes from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through.
Not only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it.
So for Cincinnati, they remain in the hunt for a first-round bye as they move to 11-3 on the year. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Buffalo Bills next week. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll be off to Oakland next week for a date with the Raiders. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.